So guys, apparently we control Rewind this year.
Big oopsie.
Y'all, we
No
can
recovery.
do whatever we want.
Oh my gosh.
What do we do?
I would want Fortnite.
Just before we start, if you are a subscriber to the channel, there's an update at the end of the video. Let's begin. So, YouTube Rewind is shit. It literally is. It has not been good since ever. And fair enough, some of the rewinds are more enjoyable than others. But I tell you, they could do so much more. There's so much potential. There's so many resources to be used. I don't know why they are just the safest kind of content you could expect, because they could do anything. They could literally do anything here. Rewind from this year? Bad. And something which people have been already talking about to the end of times. But what we're here to do in this video is actually to design a better rewind. You'd think that with YouTube's resources they could achieve anything, and actually they could, because they fly these creators to their shoot where they shoot the whole and record the whole stuff, so they could do this, what I'm planning to do. Perhaps not with all the creators I'm going to mention in this video, but certainly you could go very close. You could actually make this epic, and let's do it so. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a story for the whole thing. Imagine just the past rewinds, they have been kind of just random videos. Of course, YouTube is very much, just it hardly connects because people do different kind of content. But what if you do one video that actually follows one idea through and has every single content creator and content type in that video? I would start the video with some of the oldest and most known YouTubers. You PewDiePies, Smoshes, or whoever. I'm not very familiar of all the great giants of the past, but you know the drill. Those kinds of YouTubers. Searching for something. They are in middle of this jungle, middle of this place in nowhere. This sort of old and mysterious land. Imagine a jungle and perhaps some destroyed structures all over it. They're on the ground trying to search something, but what that is. This sort of vibe you get from movies or films like Raiders of Lost Ark. That is what I want to achieve with this scene. The place where they are is actually old YouTube, buried under the time which has passed, and some of the old creators in forms of statues are all over them. Perhaps some old memes, old dead memes. It might be very scary. I'm not familiar of memes from 2009, but imagine those might be very horrendous if you think them right now. But after a few seconds of these characters going in jungle and finding this big old structure, this old temple, they go in. And all of them, perhaps with flashlights, just look all around and what that place is. Well, of course, someone who knows sees that it is the first guy who got a million subscribers, his temple. The Temple of Fred. So if you notice what I'm doing, I'm basically connecting old YouTube to the future of YouTube and current times of YouTube within the first 15 seconds. And I think the kids nowadays, they can watch few seconds and just look, oh, what is that? I've never seen that. What is that? And then at the same time, old guys who have been around can see, oh, I know this. I have some resemblance of this, because that is what the rewind is about. But this is not the biggest high moment, not even close. These YouTubers who have been going on, they find this centerpiece in the temple, this great statue, and nobody on this point has ever even talked, even a bit. It has to be silent, just the music and the atmosphere. 15 seconds or 10 seconds of this, but then they find a statue, And this statue is huge, it's large, it's black, and it does not resemble anyone. It's just a faceless figure holding something very precious. When one of the YouTubers, perhaps Pewdiepie or some other, approaches the statue, it gives what it has in its hand. And it says, with this, you control the YouTube algorithm. So, happened so far. Big YouTubers walk into a temple thread, which resembles YouTube's past. And what controls YouTube? They get their hands to YouTube algorithm. If you're not familiar what YouTube algorithm is, it basically decides what is going to be the most popular content on the whole platform. Everyone, every creator who wants to be competitive tries to appease it to gain popularity. Sometimes algorithm likes longer videos, sometimes shorter ones, and this decides who's going to be big and who's going to just be left out of the party. That is why people want to control it. But before those old YouTubers could even react, it cuts to one of them on the window watching outside and saying, "Oh no, it's gamers!" Far in the distance, a big bus on the sky is approaching. Inside, the greatest streamers of modern age and greatest gameplay YouTubers. Those ninjas and other streamers. And one of them, the biggest one in the whole bus, calls people for action. We need to get the algorithm. And that is when the bus door opens and they jump off Fortnite style. I know it's a bit cheesy, I don't know much about Fortnite, but the thing is we're going to make this epic, and this is not about my interest, this is interest of other people, and so many people goddamn on this earth like that game. So that's one of the ways people attack the temple. Oh, I get ahead of myself. So they attack the temple. Start skydiving to the temple's direction where the old YouTubers are preparing to fight. They are not going to give up so easily. But that is not the end of their problems. One of the YouTubers of all times climbs on the top of the temple, preparing to get the assault from the gamers. But he sees something far worse. He shouts, "They're coming! Animation vloggers!" In distance you could see these giant animated monstrosities. Odd ones out and other ones as well, just getting bigger and bigger. Their subscribers give them power to get much larger than they normally are. If you know this anime series, Attack on Titan, then you know what kind of vibe I want to get out of this scene. Epic qua. They are approaching like this looming doom. They have so much power, but they are coming and they are going to take the algorithm for themselves so they could grow and grow. It's kind of obvious that these characters, you could do so much with them. Of course, with humans you have to, make them human size and whatnot. But these animators, they could actually animate their characters like these real giant creatures attacking. But this is just the beginning. Then, one at a time, a challenger appears. And these are YouTube content genres collecting and getting together and pursuing towards the temple. Of course, I would need to consult other people who know much about this whole thing. I am very much outside of YouTube. I just watch commentary channels, perhaps some of the biggest sometimes, but imagine an army of 9-year-olds, and then, like, if you have watched The Lord of the Rings, the ones who make the rhythm where the people march towards bongo cats, just like doom, 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 doom. I'm just thinking about the cool factor here. And yeah, you would have your night show hosts attack, blah 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 blah. It would actually be interesting that, in the first, the people who are just collecting around YouTube, but then a new challenge appears out of nowhere from this kind of portal resembling a TV. These people walk out, and everybody every single side which is almost attacking each other in the temple. They're just watching, hey, who are these guys? Then, all this point has been just collected to the great battle, and then it happens. Different kind of content creators clash on each other, just like pum pum. Yeah, visualize it yourself. Imagine critics and animators and all YouTubers, gamers, all just going together, perhaps fighting kind of all with their own style. Perhaps critics like to just critique the weaknesses of the others, but are not as effective as gamers. They are constantly just making kills, multi-kills and whatnot. There would be some kind of like a vlogger who has made the biggest difference in this year, or some this kind of thing. He would just start talking about herself or himself, and no one would dare attack him. Oh, that would be so fun. Then we could actually have, just came to my mind, one of the old YouTubers having a laptop on his hips trying to find one of those millions of how-to videos from India and try to find a one which says how to win a war. Then you could have celebrities just walking in the temple and doing actually nothing. They're just like, oh, and this is happening. Kind of resembling that they are not all about the YouTube fame. They're just walking there and, oh, that's interesting. Like Will Smith from 2018 video. Still not as a main character, but still nice cameo nonetheless. And fighting wouldn't stop, but he was just like, oh, this is happening. But then something much cooler would happen. Girl from 2018 video which says, hey guys, let's actually read the comments. In the middle of the temple there's this big fireplace. She decides to throw some wood to the fireplace. Fighting is happening all this time. But then just everybody stops, freezes. They see the wood just dropping to the fire. Slow motion. It would cut from freeze up to another quickly. Only now the girl who threw that wood on fire realizes what she has done. A great tornado of comments appears, just wrecking everybody who's fighting outside and inside. That shows the power of viewers who in the end dominate and make sure who is the boss in the platform. And the whole temple crumbles down. Or something epic to this kind of extent. The temple does not need to just be destroyed, but that would be epic, of course. And creators inside, because this is a family-friendly kind of video, no gore is shown and everybody stays intact even though the temple collapses. Plot holes, but who cares? And now the end. Okay, I don't think YouTube would ever do it, but it would make them actually to seem cool. Imagine, once for a change, people would think, oh, YouTube, all those are the good, those are the cool guys. Well, how would I do that in this way? The tornado just evaporates, disappears completely, and everybody is still on the ground. Everybody, literally everybody on the scene, just on the ground and a bit trying to wake up and like, what has happened? This kind of atmosphere. The guy who originally took the algorithm to his hands still holds it on the ground, of course. But then slowly but surely, a businesswoman walks to the scene. It only shows her legs first, then a little more. It just grows, then you could not see her face just yet. She's walking on the stairs to the temple, then she walks in the temple atmosphere. She walks next to the guy who has the algorithm on his hands. The YouTuber who has it on his hands looks down and like, oh, what is happening? Then he looks at his hand, it's empty. And now you can finally see who is the businesswoman. It's the YouTube CEO, the Wachowski. Sorry for saying your name wrong. The Wachowski woman. Oh, what a twist! Nobody has said anything, even the Wachowski woman herself. She just has algorithm on her hands at that point. Then people around her start to realize, oh, She has it. Everybody silent. No music at all. Just the sound of her foot on, walking away from the temple one by one. Everybody just looks. Nothing. No sound. She walks to the distance. Nothing happens. It slowly fades away, the picture on the screen, while Wojciechowski is walking away and other YouTubers are looking towards her with just complete awe. Oh man, I'm actually getting excited of this idea just by talking it. I tell you, this would be a perfect ending from YouTube and the creator's standpoint. Because, of course, if you make these kind of productions, you have to know you cannot just do anything you want. To have the resources, you have to appease both YouTube and both the user base. Otherwise, it just becomes a fan fiction. This kind of, anything can happen and then nothing really interesting happens. And the other end is what YouTube Rewinds are right now. Just corporate videos. They do not stand out. They are too much in liking of YouTube Corporation, and that's why we need a balance. The balances we need to make in this kind of video is that there's no gore, everything is family friendly, but the other balance is that there's actually an interesting story, there's interesting visuals, there's epic things happening. That's what YouTube Rewind would be. It would get everybody hyped. Oh man, it's like a battle of Helm's Deep or something, just people fighting. Oh man, that YouTuber, oh man, and that one, how's that guy fighting? This kind of thing which people want to see. I would like to see these characters just clashing into each other and having this kind of funny yet entertaining battle scene until the girl decides, hey, let's read the comments, and the comments explode, everybody just unconscious, and cherry on top. Wojciechowski woman, the CEO of YouTube, would just take algorithm on her hands. Imagine, the coolest shit ever. This would show that YouTube is still in control, of course. YouTube is the main thing these creators are bound to. And it's kind of, of course, it's not the kind of like, hey, family friendly, everybody's happy in the end kind of thing. But it would raise so many questions, it would lift so many jaws down. Just because they did not expect that the Wojciechowski CEO, sorry for just not saying your name right, Wojciechowski woman just walks out. It would make her seem so cool for so many people. Oh man, that woman just, oh man, so cool. Took the power item and just walked off. Everybody would. Oh, I think so many people would like this. I think it would be epic. So I just wanted to tell this to you. This has been on my mind for so many days now, with just watching the whole YouTube thing. This would have made it so much better. I would have made it much more interesting than the current one. I tell you. Of course, there's all these production things, but I tell you, the idea is excellent, even though I say so myself. I've talked with some people, and my brother, one of them, and he said like, oh, we need that, that's kind of, why does it end like that, and that's kind of, but of course we need to have balance of appeasing to YouTube as well, because otherwise this wouldn't be made, this kind of, rewind. We need to think about realistically. But I tell you, people would still like this. I made this with the balance of YouTube viewers, the YouTube people, and YouTube CEOs in mind. But it would be still something that would stay in history. People would remember it. People would be proud to be part of that. And I could not say that this year's rewind is something people are proud of. Not even close. So that was not a regular type of video from me, and I don't know how it's going to go, but I just needed to get this out of my system. Now what I want to say that, of course I'm a music channel, I make music, of course look at this video, oh, how does he do that? I just want to say to my subscribers mainly, and who have been following me, thank you, but I want to also say that the situation, what I've been doing up to this point, this scheduled thing, to Monday to other days, you know, every week I now a video and this type of thing. It just, I have to tell you, it does not really work on me. And I don't want to say because, you know, I'm lazy or anything. If you just follow on my works I've done, I've been able to keep the schedule with the most minimal amount of resources I have had. The thing is that I'm really passionate about the music. The thing is also that I want to get a more stable life with the income and that kind of thing, and I need to get out of YouTube for that very thing. I'm currently working on a very big project. It's outside of YouTube. I'm applying for funding for it and doing a lot of outside of YouTube things to make it happen. You know, who in YouTube talk about, you know, meeting, you know, funders and people who are going to fund you, that sort of thing from corporate world, trying to get this idea out there, and it's still a secret, but I'm now preparing for it. It's not going to mean I'm going to be stopping doing some videos here to you with music and all that sort of thing. I just want to tell you that the thing I'm currently doing is I would be able to continue it and grow much slowly, grow this kind of, you know, channel with I have to tell you, looking at the stats, we are growing. But the thing is, I cannot achieve as much if I restrict myself to this video making schedule. I cannot just do all the things I wish to achieve at this point. And one of them is I'm working on this big project, and it requires time. It requires a lot of development time, and it's going to be something that it's going to just shock you. How, Elias, have you been doing that all the time? And I need time off. I was already thinking of going a little time off at December, but I'm going to be, even after that, going to have some irregular updating schedule. I hope you understand. I know not all people are going to just care, and not people are going to just be watching what I do, but I have to do it for the sake of making something meaningful. If you already look what I've done past I think 1 month ago, I made this game demo by myself. Of course, I hired some graphic guys to make some things for it and stuff. I made a demo of an RTS game just within 1 month, and the big project I'm currently working, it's much larger. It's going to be published one, it's going to be huge one, and I want to get into more art publishing side of things, and that's going to be the big project I'm going to pursue. If you want to follow me on what is happening, I think in my website there's kind of newsletter thing. You can sign on that. I'm not able to finish my site in proper ways that it's easily to be found. I think it's down in the side window if you want to see that, but in case you are not interested on that, you can just follow the channel, and I'm going to make sure you know when that project is going out. It's going to be huge, almost as huge, very much bigger than this kind of idea I'm thinking for YouTube Rewind, I tell you that much. Haha! It's hard to convince people, but I hope this convinced you even somewhat. I'm going to go. I wish you people that you take also some time for yourselves, because the YouTube thing and the other things in life, I think those are not the most important things to get the fame, get the money, or get the big things going on, I tell you, because I had this one guy who started subscribing me for a few times away. Is this kind of big gameplay streamer? We had discussion in Discord, and like, people are really stressing themselves out by doing just daily content, and YouTube requires you to make daily content. You don't need to do that necessarily. If you want to just stay happy, stay this guy who makes good things, because art creation is not about schedule. Art creation wants to make, if you want to make art, you want to really put some effort into it, and effort takes time. So I think just giving yourself time for this Christmas and having just time to relax and take it easy, if you can, do it. I recommend it. Made my life much better when I took few days away from YouTube. it's quite stressful, you know, do this constantly with kind of daily kind of content, and I'm really do not envy these big guys with millions of subscribers who have to do it all the time. I follow this channel who's do it all the time, just news after news, 3 uploads a day, 4 uploads a day, 5 uploads a day. Blech! You can't do it all the time. It just kills you, especially if you do music and stuff. So yeah, that was all about it. I hope there's some understanding. Let's go to Discord and discuss more. You can ask me questions there. Yeah, Discord link in the down description. Let's do it. I wish you good December. Wherever you are, I wish you a good day. See you later. All right, I go now.